Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the last remaining friendlies in Plymouth, your ski instructor, Greg Simoneau.
That man never been ready for the chaos. I stay ready, never take day off. Train for the action, it's payoff. Deliver that straight, no mailbox. First class talk, I talk.
Thank you, thanks. What up? The last friendlies. I'd like to thank the local scene for having me. Thanks for coming out. And thanks to Dan in the booth. All right, Dan. Yes. All right, let's get it. Let's see. Oh, get it going here. I look like a guy who enjoys metal detecting, right? Truth is, I think it's fun for like 5 minutes. So I go out there, metal detecting, and I find a dildo, because that's the neighborhood I live in. That's the trashy, dirty, some say sexy neighborhood that I live in. So 5 minutes of fun isn't up yet. So I keep on going on my way to 4 dildos. So I'm thinking, all right, that's funny. Where did these come from? There were no headstones for these dildos. People might have been giving head in this dildo grave, but definitely no headstones. So I start heading back to my house with these dildos hanging from my neck. Apparently I had forgot my bag, so they're just wrapped around my neck like they were my trappings. I didn't have string, so I tied them with ribbon. I was my own walking sex shop, strolling down the street of my neighborhood. And the reason I had the ribbon on me is thus. Ribbon costs $6 a roll, but for a brief period after Christmas, it is clearanced off for 10 cents a roll. Just 10 cents. That's a callback to 20 years ago. The trick being that you now have to store said ribbon for 10 or so months until the eventual Christmas season is upon us once again. So, the lover of bargains that I am, I bought 10 rolls costing me $1, plus applicable taxes, which vary by state. I had nowhere in my house to store these extra 10 rolls for the 10 months, leading up to the most jolliest of seasons. So I decided to affix them to a festive vest, designated for gift wrapping, The vest eventually became part of my metal detecting attire, as I do not do camouflage. I mean, why are you hiding your metal detecting? I don't know. And the ribbon is handy for securing said trappings. In retrospect, I probably could have made room in one of my many storage totes appropriately marked Christmas in the basement, but I would run the risk of accidentally buying the ribbon again at the start of the season at full price. So one must weigh such facts and look at oneself from within and ask, where now are the savings? Thank you, Plymouth. Thanks. That was 5 minutes of fun. Today's show is coming to you from the Friendlies in Plymouth. I like Friendlies. I like their menu. Just like my typing teacher from high school, both are a little rooty-tooty, fresh and fruity. We loved our typing teacher, except when he had tuberculosis. Maybe not so much then. We didn't love him too closely then. And when anyone popped for TB, we would say, "Oh, you were hanging out with the typing teacher." No, I wasn't. We just kissed a little, all right? Also, the tuna melt at Friendly's is one of my favorites. It reminds me of my algebra teacher. Dry, crusty, and very cheesy. Yeah. Too bad my old high school was torn down. And I'm not just talking about senior day. Hey-o. Senior day was great. You could do whatever you want. You go to the gym, go out to the courts, go out to the field, go to your car, grab a beer, come back to the gym. You could do whatever you want. But the kids were getting in trouble with all this freedom, you know. I think they had to cancel it. Those were the days. Can you believe it's been 6 months already since last senior day? They still let me attend because I know where to get the T-shirts made, you know, and I get one for myself. I told my wife I found $145 on the ground last year. Pretty good, pretty good. 100, 2 20s, and a 5, just on the ground. And she says that she could do that too if she walked around like me all the time. But that's how you find money. I mean, is it just me, or has AutoZone not changed their slogan since the 90s? Get in the zone, AutoZone. You know? Things aren't that extreme anymore, you know? Things aren't that awesome anymore, AutoZone. Calm down. It should be like, get in the zone if you want. Something like that. Or get in the zone if you identify as a car. Bring it up to date. You know? I went into the Saucony store the other day, and I was like, hey, sock it to me, baby. And the girl behind the counter was like, oh, here we go. Another 9.5 overcompensating. It's stupid. I get in the foot store, and they have to measure your feet, you know, but since when did rubbing your feet get a more accurate reading? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Thank you, sir. I know they are nice feet, and yes, those are Incredible Hulk socks. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, but shoes are so expensive, and I'm cheap, you know? So the ones at Walmart start looking good to me, you know? But they never, you know, have the Ninja Turtle sneakers in my size, you know? I used to be able to buy Velcro sneakers at Walmart. Man, those were so nice and easy. But even Walmart is like, nah, those are too out of style, even for us. Yeah, I'm trying to be healthy, you know? I gave up drinking, you know? Except, you know, but only during the week I did it, you know? And then even during the week is sketchy. Like, 'cause if I go out, I'll have one, or special occasions, Bruins games, or if I deserve it, you know? Other than that, I've kind of given it up. Sometimes I drink the beer in the fridge just because my mom taught me, drink it before it goes bad, you know? Still have that. Then you recycle the cans, and you have to recycle the cans. That's a whole big deal. And you bring them in, and they give you like $4 back. And they're like, anything else? Is that it today? And I feel like they're at like a peasant. We gave you 65 cents, sir. Please buy something today. Please, sir. Please, sir. No one shops here during the day anymore, sir. Please. We have a hungry lottery to feed. So hungry. So I'm like, yeah, okay, you gave me $4. Let me spend $30 on a case of beer. Why not? Then I make a weird joke like, well, I have to have something to recycle next time. So you buy the beer, and this is the case that puts you over the top. You become an alcoholic. You lose your job, you lose your house, you lose your family, your wife, your kids, everything. And you go back to the store and you say, can I please have 65 cents for a nibble and a phone call? Please, sir, please, can you help me out? I'm desperate. And they look at you and they go, get out of here, you drunk. That's how it is. Something. But sometimes I do spend the cash on lottery, you know, scratch tickets. Sometimes I'm like, give me one of those and one of those, because it's not much money, you know. Give me one of those and, oh, that's it? That's the whole money? That's everything? Okay. It's like $4. So you get the lottery, and then you lose, and now you have nothing, you know. And it seems like the whole thing was a big waste of time, you know. So then you try to rationalize it. Well, he's got my cans, and he's got my money, but he'll never touch my wife's cans. You know, because she uses the machine that does it itself, you know. She's the only one that touches them. You ever use those machines to redeem your cans? It's like, if you ever put a glass one in there and it's like, psh, and then it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, psh, and then you start looking around for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dun 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 dun. Is it only me? Only me? Yeah. You hear the glass breaking and crushing it, and you're like, is that really recycling it? I don't know. Well, at least I got my nickel for that, and I got to hear it. That's part of it. That's part of the nickel. This kind of makes it worth it, you know. And sometimes you can have the entrance music on your phone ready. Yeah, and sometimes I'll bring my pillow buddies stone cold and make it a date night, you know. Then the guy there will be like, hey, no pillow buddies in here. Can't you read the sign? And there's like a million signs up, you know. No fruit juice and no pillow buddies. And the guy's like, no Stone Cold's entrance music in here. We only play the rock. If you smell what the Redemption Center smells like, you'll be sick. One of the worst things someone could say to you is that, not that you have BO, is that you smell like a redemption center, you know? Cold, wet, hopeless. You smell hopeless. That's if you smelled like that. Yeah. And why does the guy working there look like he's had the job? Like he's always been there. And he looks like the comedian Stephen Wright, you know? 200 can limit today, sir. 200 cans per person, per trip? No. For everyone. 200 can limit. Then when you go to get your money, they give you this little piece of cardboard with the number of how many cans you have and the guy's initials. Yeah, and that's real tamper-proof, right? And who counts the cash drawers at the end of the night with all these little ripped up pieces of cardboard? It must look like a rat's nest in there. Oh yeah, and there's the rat. Just to test this theory, I should go through the trash and collect a bunch of the old ones and try to redeem them, you know? And she'd be like, you saying you redeemed these today, sir? Well, I'll tell you that they're fakes. We used an old Budweiser box. We ripped up an old Budweiser box on Tuesday, and today is Thursday. Today is a Keystone Light box. Perfect. The system works. When I get home, my wife is like, oh, how much did you get back for the recycling? Like $4. Okay. And she goes, oh, okay. And where did that go? To toys? No. Obviously, I got another case of beer. And she's like, oh, the peasant guy was behind the counter today? Oh, I get it. I was like, yeah. And Stephen Wright still works there too. So weird. But welcome to the Greg Simoneau Show. Yeah, offbeat perversions at its finest, I'm telling you. The other day I saw someone asleep on my queen mattress, and I was like, oof, I have to fight them. But I'm not going to do it. So I called in an odor fighter, which isn't really fighting them at all. Let sleeping dogs lie, as I say, and I believe. You know, he was being a little rough with my pillows. Then I lured him away into the kitchen with some raw shrimp, you know. But because of the bird flu, I've been, like any roadkills I find, bird, snake, beast, skunk, whatever it is, I've been burning them in my backyard, you know. And I think, And the neighbors think, the fresh scent of spring. I also throw in some robes from some lepers in there too. Make it good. Make it good. Yeah. But sometimes I have to go to the store. Me and my wife, we go over the pantry list. And it brings us about a good back and forth banter between us. And if my mom was there and we were like vacationing where pandas live, I would just tell my mom, Mom, I'm not going to pander to these pandas over the pantry list. That brings about a good form of banter. I'm not going to do it. And I know my mom would argue. She would argue, just please get something for the pandas. They look hungry. We're only staying here a little while until their real parents come home. And I'd say to her, I'm not going to pander to my parent over these pandas, so that's the last time you get to hold the Verbo app. Thanks, friendlies. Thank you. You want the Sunday? Yeah, sure. You gonna get a Sunday after that? You gonna get the happy ending? Oh my God. Well, anyways, I was at the grocery store, and I like the aisle that has all the oils, like the olive oils and the extra virgin oils. And I'm like, oils? Oh my! I remember when I was a virgin, I was an extra virgin. Get those dicks, tits, and pussies away from me. I'm a virgin. I'm a virgin. I'm an extra virgin. You're going to have to do something extra to get my V card. That's how I was. I don't know. I was a tough little virgin. Still, even to this day, I'm like, before we begin, do you have any oils? No? Okay. Not that kind? Do you have any extra? Okay. Do you have any bread? No, not that kind. What are you trying to give me, a yeast infection? Yeah, but sometimes I see these ads. They say, your dream bathroom in one day. Sounds pretty good, but my dream bathroom has no ceiling, 6 walls, and resides in another dimension. Go ahead, go. I don't think you have enough time. Why don't you pander to me? And bring in that panda. It's time for his tubby. I don't know. Sometimes I go by a restaurant and it says live mussels. And I was like, oh, good. I hope they'll have live mussels. I wouldn't want a restaurant run by zombies. Let me check your mussels. Come here. Are they alive? Let me check those glutes. Yeah. Same thing when I see live nudes on a building. Well, I hope so. I wouldn't want to see zombie nudes, Not really into that kind of thing. Corpses. Yeah. But, hit me up around October again. We'll see where I'm at, How much to touch a corpse? All right. Make it rain. Make it rain. Oh, no, the zombies don't like to get wet. Rain. Anyways. Sometimes I see that Dave's Killer Bread. The guy, the dude's playing the guitar, Shouldn't it be like Dave's Killer Bread and the guy's like holding a knife? Dave's Killer Bread, right? And what happened to the people in this apartment? We don't know, but there was a loaf of Dave's Killer Bread on the counter. So I've been getting like these tuna, in these like little containers, small tunas. And like I've been putting them in my Keurig machine, and that gets the water out, Unlike the old-fashioned way, it just gets the water out. And then what you're sort of left with is like a tuna tea. And I've been like trying to market it, I'm like working it out, workshopping it. Is it like, what should it be called? Tuna tea, tuna double tea, tuna tea, double tea, tuna tea? Something like that. Yeah, the cats really love the tuna tea, They've been asking for it by name. They're like, meow, give us the effing tea. Then I have to explain to them, I'm like, I'm not really in the mood for tuna right now. You can't have it. I'm not going to pander to your tea wishes, RY pantry. And these cats. Yeah, then these cats, they know how to DoorDash now. Yeah. They run out and they run to the neighbor's door and they get what they want. They know how to DoorDash. I liked it. Our dog passed away, and we used to let her sleep in our bed, with us. And she passed away, and we got her cremated, and we kept the ashes under the bed. So she used to be here, and now she's here. It's like, welcome to your eternal resting place. It's just slightly below your resting place. That's what I think. That's what I think about it. And if Pet Cemetery was real, I'd bring our dog back, I don't even care if she be a little more evil, she couldn't be any worse than these cats. I think someone pet cemeteried our cats. They're evil. Meow, just give us the tea. Meow, just give us the effing tea. Sometimes a cat gets stuck in a tree and you're like, oh, call the fire department, call the police department, call Superman, He'll rescue them. Right, yeah. Not my cats. They'd be like, dang, that cat killed Superman. It had a kryptonite flea collar. Who saw that? And then going back to my dog, it was her resting bitch place, because she was a dog, her final resting bitch place. Yeah. I kind of liked it. I don't know. So the other day I was out in the woods practicing some archery, trying to get a flame arrow going, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what the Indians used to feel like, Then I broke out my Atkins shake, and I'm like, yeah, this is taking me back. Yeah, this is living off the land, man. Then I pulled out a frozen Atkins shake, and I was like, yeah, this is what like Nanook of the North felt like, man, living off the land. I bet Rob Lowe is part Indian. I don't know. I just think that. You remember that football player whose name was Suggs? Remember him? Do you think when he was a kid he played with slugs? It's kind of weird. But he was like, hey, you're like me, but I'm Suggs and you're slugs. But I'll hold an L up to my head, and now I'm slugs and you're slugs. Okay, see you later. I'm going to go watch the original Disney movies. Something like that. No. It's just good to have a Ravens player held an L up to their head. I don't know. Do you think? Sports. Do you think God, when the caveman discovered lobster, do you think God, when the caveman discovered lobster, God was like, oh, I can't watch this, and just dropped some butter out of the sky for them, and then they got it, and he's like, oh, heat it up, oh, heat up the butter, use fire. I know, you learned it last week. You're gonna want to use that for everything. He's like, can't watch this. I know you're a few thousand years from butter, but just here, have it. And then the next time it rained, the cavemen were like, oh, it's water. I can't believe it's not butter, it's rain. Oh, wait, good name for a butter substitute. Then the next thing I know, a lady comes up to me and goes, okay, sir, we gotta go. The store's closing now. Did you get everything on your list that your wife wrote down for you? Okay, gather them up. We're closing now. Let's go. Okay, bye. Because the whole time I was just shopping. And that's the name of tonight's episode, Pantry Checklist. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I think I have just enough time to do one more thing here. So, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and now it's time for some hot deals on stuff that you don't want, like Irish soda bread. And I guess Irish soda bread would be nice to have, to prop open the door while you brought in your other groceries, They're building a house. They're building behind my house, and I think the Irish soda bread would help be nice to shore up some of the foundation work. I think they could easily do. And what is Irish soda anyways, I just picture a soda can with a shamrock on it, is that what it is? I don't know what it is. I like the beer battered stuff, you know. I wonder what came first, the Irish soda or the beer battered stuff. Like a beer battered filet. This is good, but I can't taste the beer, you know. So you wasted all the beer making this? Next time, just waste the Irish soda. Go ahead, use all the Irish soda you want. Nobody's drinking it anyways. And I'll get off Irish soda bread. I'll get off Irish soda bread because I just got off yours. See, we made a very uncomfortable couch out of it. See? Oh. And I think that will end right there. And I'll just say thanks, everyone. Thanks at Friendly's for having me. I hope my tuna melt's waiting. I hope my tuna melt's ready, right? Thanks. Good night.
We about to cause a scene. There's nothing like you've seen. Everything ain't what it seems. Whoa, 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 whoa. Them man never been ready for the chaos. I stay ready, never take day off. Train for the action, it's payoff.
Are we still rolling? This is a public service announcement, you know, because of the bird flu. So the bird flu, if you see any birds that are dying, you got to call this number, okay? It's 508 322 3339. Okay? If you see any birds that are, you know, that are dead or sick or you're like, you know, laying on the side of the road, you got to call this number. And this number is weird because if you turn it this way, look at all the sick birds there are. No? No. You know how you draw a seagull? Anyways, I just wanted to do that. And I also wanted to tell you that you can catch me in the new, catch me in the Captain America Brave New World. Yep, if you go see it. You can catch me in Captain America Brave New World. Only if you're at the theater at the same time as me will you catch me in it. Sadly, I wasn't an extra in this movie. All right. Roll credits.